Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. Our topic today is going to be an overview on how to effectively use automation in the workplace. I want to quickly point out that at the end, I will be answering a few Q&As. There is a section on your screen that will allow you to type in your question, and I can answer them at the end. So with automation available to us at our fingertips, in the business world, we likely hear about it on a daily basis in one way, shape, or form. So what is automation? How can you effectively use it? Or how can you build upon the automation that you already have? Automation is present in modern businesses, both small and large, ranging from subtle features in common software applications to more obvious implementation like self-driving cars. There is much debate about where workplace automation will lead the economy, but as observers tend to agree on one thing: this trend is only gaining momentum. Every business process, such as human resource management and customer service departments, is on the table for automation, especially as technology becomes more sophisticated. Today, we will discuss an array of things: an introduction to the different types of automation that are particularly relevant to most small and large businesses. We will discuss common examples of marketing and sales automation techniques, internal actions and operations that can be automated within a business, why automation is important, and how to begin the implementation steps. Technology, as we all know, is advancing rapidly, particularly with machine learning and artificial intelligence softwares that lead to new forms of smart automation. It is important to be cognizant of how fast automation technologies is likely to change within the next several years as softwares are beginning to learn and become adaptable. These technologies open the door for automation of higher order tasks, rather than just your basic repetitive tasks. For the purpose of today's presentation, we're going to learn about current automations in the areas of marketing, sales, and operations. It is still far from clear what impact artificial intelligence and machine learning will have on future workplace. However, we can begin to put these processes, no matter how small they are, into place to begin to adopt a more effective and futuristic workplace. So where do we begin? What is automation? Well, it refers to the software that exists to help you automate processes. Many of you may already be familiar with different kinds of automation. However, in the business realm, it can be used within a variety of areas, such areas as marketing, sales, social media, operations, execution, and deliverables. I found a fascinating statistic that only 28% of businesses are using marketing automation. This surprises me because it's been my experience that marketing and social media automation are the top known forms of automation techniques. It makes me think, what are the statistics of number of businesses using other forms of automation? There are many different types that businesses can use and in a variety of areas. So let's start to take a look at them separately. Marketing and sales. What is marketing and sales automation? Quite simply, it refers to the software that exists to help you automate your marketing and sales actions. Many businesses automate repetitive tasks, such as email follow-up, social media, and other website actions in order to nurture contacts through their life cycle. They're the yin and yang of revenue development for any company. They go hand in hand, but are increasingly difficult to distinguish from one another. After all, the goal of both activities is to increase business activity. The type of business and industry will dictate the type of marketing automation that is needed. However, all businesses can benefit from utilizing a variety of marketing automation tools. These tools can exist with an array of action items in each area, such as email marketing, landing page creation, cross-channel marketing, lead generation, segmentation, nurturing and lead scoring, cross-sell, upsell, retention, measuring ROI, ad campaigns, and the list goes on, even website personalization. When beginning to investigate marketing and sales automation, a great first step is to research different softwares and their capabilities. A good second step is to write down your back-end applications that are currently being used and the goals you are looking to obtain during these automation processes. Making sure your applications integrate is going to be essential for optimal efficiency. Remember to ensure your provider delivers excellent onboarding and training during implementation of these tools. Choosing the right software will depend on the web application and the email server the business utilizes. Once you have chosen an automation tool, run your first campaign. Make sure to measure and track your results. Marketing automation can be costly, and you want to make sure you're tracking and measuring your results to recognize what is working versus what's not working. You will want to tweak your marketing techniques to favor your industry, and you want to notice what is working for you versus what's not to drive your lead conversions. Marketing automation should not replace your marketing team, but it should allow the team to focus on strategy while enhancing sales and your ROI. So on to discussing social media. Arguably, one of the most known areas of automation to all of us, particularly surrounding scheduling posts to go out, tracking and analytics. Some great ideas to advance your social media marketing strategies surround organic followers, purposeful posts, social listening tools. Using scheduling tools will help alleviate the reminder to post hassle. Use as much calendar automation for social media as possible. Spending one large time block to schedule the month's posts to go out will save you a lot of brain space over the course of the month. Using these tools becomes a set it and forget it mentality. Some popular tools are Buffer, Hootsuite, Agorapulse, CoSchedule, Crowdfire, BuzzSumo. All of these have different features, so it's wise to conduct research to see which app is going to work best for you and your company. While we are discussing social media, I think it's important to briefly discuss a quick piece of information surrounding lead generation research for social media apps. Here you can see a snippet of data regarding lead generation for B2B. LinkedIn coming at the highest percentage of 80.33%. While this obviously varies for different industries, it's a good starting statistic when evaluating which platforms to really focus your attention on. For more information, I'm going to be having a follow-up seminar on optimizing your social media platforms for lead generation. Now let's discuss operations. Being an operations manager most of my career, this happens to be my favorite. Now that we know you can automate the beginning workings of a business, such as your pipeline and funnel, we can discuss internal operations that can be automated as well. Automation throughout a business allows employees to focus on the jobs that require the critical thinking and frees them from their busy work. Each company is different, therefore, internal functions are going to be similar, but ultimately different. A good place to start the brainstorming process would be look at your average working day. So here's some food for thought. Are you currently using a scheduling app to schedule all your meetings? Did you know you can use an online scheduling app and all you'll have to do is click and sign on to the meeting at that time? According to a recent study, only 35% of businesses are using scheduling apps. So I ask you, how simple is your scheduling process? While not every routine task can be accomplished on a day-to-day basis and solved by automation, here are some areas that have the most room for you to begin to look at and do so, such as employee analytics and performance, help desk support, frequently asked questions, meetings, form autofill, facility management, customer support, client onboarding, invoicing, and sales. When businesses use automation, it saves time and allows resources to be diverted elsewhere. It means companies can remain small and more agile. I think it's important to remember our time is valuable. Most of us only get a few hours of a working day, and our days are only 24 hours long. Our time is best spent on non-repetitive tasks that involve a higher level of thinking. However, the large majority of us, especially the entrepreneur, feels we're better off just doing everything ourselves. If the art of delegation is hard for you, I suggest trying automation in different areas of your workday. It could be the first of many steps in evaluating the strain of doing everything yourself. Automation can truly help with productivity, availability, reliability, performance, and ultimately the end of the day results. I want to take a minute here to look at a quote by Peter Drucker. Until we can manage time, we can manage nothing else. This really resonates with me. I focus a lot on time management and delegation to make sure at the end of the day, we are obtaining as much as we could with actionable items and deliverables. There are many different levels to putting automation into effect. Some of you may have all or none of these automation examples already in place. Some first simple steps can be just setting your emails to go out at a specific time during the day, to as advanced as having a fully automated company. Of course, this is all dependent on what industry, service, and product you provide. However, it can be advanced as using an automation tool to send out a social media post. This post then entices a lead to go to your website. The lead clicking on your website triggers a retargeting ad or an email to go out. That same lead perhaps clicks a link in a new email to circle back to your website and decides to directly purchase a product or service. The client is then able to purchase it right on the website and pay. The product is then triggered to be delivered to go to the customer, or they can sign a contract in a document and the service can be delivered. All this without anyone in the company doing any work aside from setting up the automation and then ultimately delivering the service. Automation obviously can be used as little or as advanced as a business owner sees fit. Effectively utilizing automation depends on your preference, budget, staff, and ability to see what tasks within your organization need or can be automated. Because so few business owners use scheduling tools, let's revisit the scheduling portion of this automation. You can automate scheduling and have your apps do all the work for you. I'm going to give some really quick sample steps for those who are very unfamiliar with this area. A tool, Zapier, will allow you to link your scheduling tool to your Google Calendar and connect it to your communication platforms, for example, like I'm using today, Zoom. This will allow you to send your scheduling link to your clients, employees, vendors, etc., and have them choose a time that works for them and you, and it will automatically send them a calendar invite with a Zoom link. And if you so choose, you can set up to have reminder emails go out. At the end of the day, the only thing you would have to do is activate that Zoom link at the time of the meeting and perhaps be camera ready. Use your tools to your advantage. There are newer tools at your fingertips each day. I want to give a final example on how to use automation within the business. I think all businesses can relate to client onboarding and invoicing as it resonates throughout many industries. A lot of us have a contract or invoice for clients to sign or review and then pay once they've decided to utilize your services. Have you given any thought to automating your onboarding process? And if so, what would it look like? Start by thinking, how much back-end work, aside from bookkeeping, really needs to be done? Is someone manually sending your invoices and contracts to go out and sign? Are you keeping a record? Are you using a CRM? Can a customer go to your website and make a purchase without any human involvement on your end? While a fully automated system may not be in your budget to have such a robust system, there are workarounds and compromises that can be made to still get you there. It often can be difficult to make changes, especially as the business owner or top executive of a company. I want to give you a few last pieces of food for thought. For different areas that you can start brainstorming to implement automation to help you, your clients, and your employees. It can help with reduction of time to fill orders and invoices. It can allow for a more effective client onboarding, as we just saw. For employees, greater retention and a better working environment. Improved productivity, stronger brand awareness, faster growth, and all of these would enable you to focus on the bigger picture. Each one of these bullet points looks at automation from a different angle. It also utilizes different tools. It's important to be cognizant that some require integrations with back-end platforms and websites. It's important to gather all your information on tools before presenting your suggestion to your team, others. Make sure everything works together. Identify your prime automation tasks. You probably already know that marketing automation can be used to streamline email campaigns, but if that's all you're doing with it, you're missing out. To unlock the power of a platform, you should identify other tasks that are prime candidates for automation, such as routine, repetitive activities that are eating up time and hindering your employee productivity. Things like lead follow-up, prospect nurturing, updating your CRM can all be automated, saving time and freeing up focus on more important things like propelling the business forward. I've said it many times now in this webinar that automation will save time and allow resources to be diverted elsewhere, meaning your company can remain small, agile. Increased efficiency, productivity, and lower costs all translate to healthier profit margins for businesses both small and large. How automation is going to transform the economy at large remains to be seen. However, it appears inevitable to me that we are headed towards a future of more automation. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you have found this information valuable and some food for thought going forward in the automation processes that you may put into place. This webinar will be available to rewatch on our website. Does anyone have any questions to ask? There is the Q&A section. So someone asked, if you have a tech stack in mind, would Virtual Assist require that information ahead of getting started? If you're interested in our virtual assistant services, I would be happy to schedule a call with you. My email is on the bottom right. It should have been on all those annoyingly reminded emails that you obtained as well. Please feel free to send me an email and we can talk more about the different services and how we can help you implement different automations. Crystal asked and let us all know, yes, there are an overwhelming amount of social media apps coming out. You'd be surprised that it's not even just the social media and scheduling apps. Right now, the scheduling app I use is Schedule Once. What I liked particularly about this over, say, Time Trade was that it was able to integrate my multiple calendars. Being a COO and having different calendars all at once, it allowed me to integrate not only my work calendars, but my personal calendar so that it was optimal for my open times. I also liked that it quickly integrated with Zapier. So for example, for this webinar, all I simply had to do was schedule the webinar, let it know when I wanted the emails to go out, and to sign on, I just clicked the link in my calendar invite. The social media webinar, I have not set a date. I am hoping that it will be our next webinar, hopefully before the holidays. So if you are interested, you will see different emails that will go out and you can sign up for it. I'm very active on my LinkedIn and social media. So if you are interested in learning more about lead generation, social media, that will definitely be our next webinar. Does anyone else have any questions before we wrap up for the day? I'm also very happy, like I said, to answer any questions via email. You can also find my scheduling link on at the bottom of my signature in my emails. Social media apps, yes, there are a lot. Meet Edgar is a good one. I have to say I use Buffer, not because it is my favorite, not because I would recommend it. If people ask, I would usually recommend something like maybe Agora Pulse or Meet Edgar. I use Buffer just because it was the first one that I started with, and I happen to be just a fan of it because it already does what I already need it to do. So I use Buffer, but I definitely recommend Meet Edgar, but it depends on what industry you're working in and what you really want the functionality to do. Do you want it to be able to just post? Do you want it to be able to track analytics and listening tools? I would go with a more robust one besides Buffer. Lead nurturing apps. So it depends on what type of lead nurturing you're going to want to do. I would suggest starting with seeing what your CRM capabilities are. Does your CRM offer workflows? Can you nurture your clients and see, are they opening your emails? Are they clicking on your web pages? What web pages are they clicking on? You can get as detailed as knowing when a lead clicks on your, say, contact us page, but you didn't get a contact from them. So was it something about that specific contact page that they decided not to fill out your form? Was it not readily available to just click schedule a call? I would start with your CRM before looking into different applications. if you already have a CRM in place. Andrea asked, I noticed that LinkedIn draws 80.3% of people on social media. Where can I find more information on specific ideas how to attract more prospects for my clients? So specifically on social media, I'm going to be giving another webinar on this topic in particular. It is quite a large topic of discussion, right? It's quite the hotspot at the moment. It also depends on industry, right? LinkedIn has a lot of, it's a good source to start researching. So if you're interested, I would suggest start looking on LinkedIn for this type of information. I think if you want to go outside of social media, Andrea, there are a bunch of different automation tools that they can start to put into place, right? Ideas on networking. Should they be joining social media forums and groups to get their word out to attract more prospective clients? They can do some competitive analysis. I think the list goes on. The recommended ratio for posting other people's content versus self-promotional content. That's a great question. I'm actually going to write that down to focus on the social media webinar. It is important to obviously have a mix, right? You don't want to just post your own organic content. You want to be interacting with others, right? You want to be liking their posts, sharing their posts. Make sure it's purposeful, right? Have an intention in mind. I always recommend to my clients that when you want to reach out to others on social media, make a list of the people that you want to target. Who would you love to network with? And make sure you're doing this with purpose, right? Make sure you want to repost the people you want to target. You want to be front of face for those, say, handful of prospects. The number ratio, I typically myself go with every 2 posts of mine, I post someone else's, but that's just myself. I would recommend probably 70-30 for content versus promotion of other content. Does anyone have any other questions? So Andrea asked again to that she has several groups of women in her target market. What ideas do I have for her to create more visibility? There are a lot of groups that are targeted to different areas in business, different industries. There are always groups for entrepreneurs, for women business owners. I would start looking at different networking opportunities, different forums that specifically target the demographic that you're looking to create more visibility in that specific space. I'll give everyone a few more minutes in case you want to ask any other questions, but thank you so much for joining me today. Like I said, this will be up for review on our website at virtualassistusa.com. You can find it in the backslash webinar page. We'll also likely send out a follow-up email. So if you forget where it's located, you can just click the button. I will also be sending follow-up information on that social media and lead generation webinar